He's too good for us now. He's
to
got,
how Mouse ruined comics.
Okay.
All right, 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds are up. No more boomer music.
Well, there we go. It's official. It's official. It's a show, guys. Ladies and gents,
Yay.
kids of all ages, it's Wednesday. It's time for another episode of the Mattriarchy. I am, as always, your host, the effervescent Matt Rhys, coming to you from gorgeous Springfield, Scottsbluff, Nebraska, where I am feeling just a little bit older every day. Tonight, it is Witless's famous comics Twitless's famous comics creators club.
Witless, yes.
Twitless. I'm sorry, that was unintentional.
So I think when you said effervescent, you meant envenomed. That's more.
Oh man, my head's full of air. Tonight we will be featuring the works of Colin Lamping, the mystical Emerald Man, and Nanji's It's My Turn to Save the World in comparison. And we have the dramatic and victorious return of everyone's favorite, The Metal.
Yeah.
Yo.
Woo.
I don't know if I'm anyone's favorite, but I'm welcome to be back.
Well, you're close to mine. You know, there's my wife and my kids, and you know that guy at the mini marts, and then you.
He's important.
So.
Wait, you mean you're not the one that Jack Black wrote a song about?
Yes, he wrote it about ahead of time, knowing I was coming. It was prophetic.
So, anyhow, who wants to go first? We didn't discuss that at all.
Well, first up, let's if you don't mind, I'll introduce a little bit of kind of the format.
There we go. I appreciate that. Go
Please
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So
this
is the Comics Creators Club. It's probably my only one good idea. Take me off of center stage. That's too much attention.
Wait, you're a talking cartoon face, and oh my god, I can't handle the attention.
I can't stand in my avatar for more than 5 seconds. So it's probably my only good idea I've ever had, and so the point of it is comics, we create them and we want people to appreciate them, and more importantly, we want people to read them. And that's kind of why we make what we make, right? And so, on a lot of streams, and we often market them. You know, we say, "Hey, I got a comic, come check it out." But we don't often have as many opportunities to sit down and say, "You know what? I read your comic, Nanji, and here's the things I liked about it." To have kind of a supportive place where we can all kind of enjoy each other's works. Sometimes we give some constructive feedback, but this is not really meant to be a super critical stream. It's mostly meant to be a kind of a reading group kind of a stream, like any other reading group would be. And in addition to that, we throw in some funny oddball memes and things. So a couple of those highlights are we have the creators on the featured creators today. That will be Colin Lamping and Nanji. We have them pitch each other's work. So Nanji, you're going to pitch Emerald Man in a little bit, and Colin, you're going to pitch My Turn to Save the World. And so it's a really interesting exercise that we do, and we do elevator pitches featuring, in fact, elevator music. So
not taken from actual elevators; they're simulated elevator music.
Exactly.
We don't have
virtual
the resources to send the team out on an expedition to a real elevator to grab the music. We just had to, find some somewhere. So it's not as impressive as Twitless wants to make it sound, guys.
Actually, you should have told me while it's gone. I had the time. I could have.
Don't trust elevators anyway. They don't work anymore.
Yeah.
The other thing that we do, which is I think a lot of fun, is we pull up a few of the first pages from your respective comics that we're going to be taking a look at, and we actually do some impromptu voice acting from the panel. It's a really fun moment where you get to hear your work being performed by a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing, and somehow it is a lot of fun as well. And so
from
these are
the
just
mouths of consummate professionals.
Consummate amateurs.
Okay.
Oh
I know
boy.
what you were talking about. I actually am a professional.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a professional amateur.
I'm a professional at something, but not this. Before we
But-
get going on that, I do want to take time. We got a couple of new faces in the chat.
Definitely.
Owen Zaleski. And don't think I've seen you around here before, although I think you did sub to the channel earlier today, so thanks. And Nate Fuzzball, I don't know. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Hope that y'all enjoy the show. If you have any questions,
I
feel
think
free
it's
to
Nate Fairs.
Fairs? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Colin knows you. And now
Yes.
he vouches for you, then you're okay in my book. I probably won't lend you money, though. Anyway, moving on. Back to the subject at hand. Who do we want to get? Who wants to pitch first?
So one more thing. So the general outline of this will be is we'll take a look at one person's comic for about half the show first, and the other author will pitch that creator's work. We'll then we'll go down the panel and we'll basically talk a little bit about what we liked from the issue or couple of issues that we read, and then finally we'll wrap up that segment by having the author of that work ask the panel a question. And I think this is one of the most important things we do for the entire show, because I know as a writer, and I can speak for myself at the very least, we're all a little bit egotists. That's probably why we make what we make. We're putting our ego out there to be read. And we always want to know as a creator, did you catch this thing that I put in there? Or what did you think of this thing that I put in there? And no one ever gives us the answer to that. And so this is an opportunity as a creator to say, you know what? I put a lot of effort into this particular character. Did anybody notice that I gave her this particular hairstyle that's reminiscent of X or whatever? And did you like it? Or did you like this plot twist I put in there? It's an opportunity as a creator to kind of ask an audience some questions, or at least one pointed question.
And an audience of people who are also making the books and thinking in those same ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a perfect opportunity to ask a question that you still won't get an answer to, but at least it's to your face.
Exactly. So, and a fun time was had by all.
Hopefully. Well, then if you're, really, creative or inventive or whatever, you can steal the show and do what you want with it. We've had people turn clips from the show into ads for their Kickstarters or whatever. So
Yeah, I'm not that good at editing.
yeah, I'm not either. That's why I do a live show.
It's way too much effort. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so who feels bold enough to begin the show with a pitch? Which means you're throwing the other creator under the bus for their first the first featured book.
So I forgot this was a feature, so I could have thought about it a little bit beforehand. So yeah, any extra time to think about it. But I thought what Liz said to you, you're gonna go over the book first and then we'll do the pitch. Is that, am I mistaken?
Well, we can do it that way if you want to do it that way.
I think we should just throw Colin into the hot seat and
Oh,
make
boy.
him
I was
pitch.
If we can't decide, I have dice right next to me.
Yeah. All right.
I love it. I love
You wish
that.
you
We
were
gave
on
Colin.
buddy.
We gave
Dice
Colin
is
at
the next
least.
inevitable phase. I love it.
We
Yeah,
gave Colin at least 3 minutes to think about this, so I know that's
Yeah.
plenty of time.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we're gonna take a look at. Let's take a look at My Turn to Save the World. And Metal, do you have it pulled up for our viewing, or do I need to pull that one up?
Yeah, I do have it pulled up. Let me pull it into its own window just so it's better.
Gotcha. All right.
There we go.
So
Don't be afraid if I blush. I tend to do that.
no trouble. We're not judging you at all, except totally.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'm Welsh Irish. My skin is always pink, so don't.
There we go.
Alrighty. So all right.
I can tell because of the last name.
Are we queued up with the elevator music?
Yes, we are. Let me get that running too.
Alrighty.
And I
So
can start whenever
Colin-
you're ready.
Hit it.
All right, so I believe my turn this world. Imagine you're in middle school and you find this weird fairy thing, and suddenly you're collecting these orbs that turn things evil, and you also have powers to turn magical into a magical girl anime, but also a ranger. and antics ensue. People get grounded and scraped, and somehow these powers allow you to fight monsters, including giant evil caterpillars. I don't know what else to say.
It's my turn to save the world.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
I'm sold. I'll tell you that right now.
Brilliant
yeah,
pitch.
yeah.
Brilliant pitch. John,
Yeah.
John Machida, who's that? Never heard of him. Micro Machines guy, for those who don't remember.
Yeah, I actually never heard of him. So
The part where you said monsters get fought, people get grounded. That should be
Yes.
that's a pull quote right there.
That is
It
true.
it's a pull
It
quote.
is.
Yeah.
That is 100% true. Monsters are fought, children are grounded.
Very well
So-
done.
That is great. So, do we want to go into the voice acting piece of it? Are we reading the first pages?
I
Yeah,
think
and-
that's a great idea. So we usually need to cast our characters here for what we're going to be taking a look at. Are we going to be looking at chapter 3? Is that where we're starting with? Do you want to start with chapter 1?
I think so.
Chapter 3?
Mhm.
Okay, so for chapter 3, we need
We
Let's
need we need Anna. How many pages we doing?
we usually do the first 3, 4. We kind of,
Yeah.
we usually cut
Sometimes up to 5.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
usually
'cause,
no
like,
more than that.
And
It's just Anna. Go ahead.
it's just Anna and the bunny for the first. I mean, like the other two,
Yeah.
Natalie and Chris. Is it?
No.
Okay.
Whoops. Yeah, but so what's her name? Tracy is the other girl. She's
Tracy,
only
okay.
in the final page, and then Darius
Right.
is the boy.
Right. Well, anyway, point is
But
they're
yeah.
there, but they don't say nothing for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, and this is supposed to be kind of like episodic strip, the comic strip, right? And so,
All right, so
I think you could jump around okay.
I'm throwing Metal under the bus because he hasn't been here in a while. So Metal, you pick which of the characters you're going to be, because we're going to make you do one of them.
Oh, I want to be the bunny.
Okay, Metal's the bunny.
But I'm wondering if we shouldn't change the pages we're doing so we can get more voices on the page.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through chapter 3.
Yeah. So let me see.
So
My
what-
favorites
it's
are.
such a
page-
I feel-
lucky fight.
Well, I feel like we can maybe go. It's okay to only have
Yeah,
two
okay.
people do the main thing because we also
Yeah.
do this as a pitch to other people. This actually is a
Yeah,
pitch
so
to welcome readers, and this starting off here will be helpful to pitch to people who are interested in this comic. We don't want to put them too far into the middle of it.
Yeah, so I would. So this particular chapter is in like 3 or 4 phases, right? So you got the first one before she's transformed.
Uh-huh.
Then she transforms. Then Darius shows up, and then they, then they team up. Like
Let's just start. And
if you choose one, yeah.
let's just start and
So I
see
would
where we go.
suggest choose a page of each for each phase. That'd be, but yeah.
Let's just start and see kind of where it goes.
Sure.
So to start off with, we need Rabbit and we need Anna, right?
Yep.
Okay, so who wants to be Anna? Do I have any takers?
I guess I'll be Anna.
There we go. All right, you have to use your best magical girl voice though.
I'll try.
Mhm.
I'll try my best.
Okay,
Yeah.
alrighty.
Gone body.
Whenever you're ready.
I know I promised I'd leave her alone, but I'm sure it's fine to watch from a distance.
We've got trouble. A nightmare stone has been dropped nearby.
It'll have to wait. I'm busy today.
What can possibly be more important?
Let's see, I have to emotionally support Tracy. Later, I have to call Lisa and Jamie and make plans for the weekend. Oh, and I also have to bake cookies for Anya's birthday.
Oh, okay, I get it.
This is great.
That's really.
Let me try to put it this way. If we don't purify the nightmare stone, it'll turn into a monster and slowly drain happiness from the area.
Okay, sure.
If happiness is drained, your friend and her new boyfriend will break up.
Pinky, let's find that jewel!
My name's not... Oh, never mind.
Are we close yet?
It should be around here somewhere. I can only sense the general area.
Okay. Because if it's any further, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Turn left, and it should be close.
Somewhere in this field?
That's your line again, Anna.
Oh, I was like,
So would it really be bad if we just waited for the monster to show up?
Yes.
Rats.
All right, and if you want to skip ahead to another moment in there, we can then jump in with a few more voices.
Yeah, skip it. Maybe chapter 6. Yeah, actually, wait. Sorry,
Page 6.
Page 6.
Oh, we got to do this one. This is the magical.
Yeah, that's
zone.
right after
Yeah.
the transformation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
With an invincible smile, pretty angel heart. All right, beat it up and find the jewel. No problem.
What's wrong?
Is there any chance? Is there any way to change it back?
Only after beating it. This is what you want. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know it was gonna be a big gross bug and all slimy. It's gonna explode. All right. If I fly fast enough, I can outrun any guts that might splat on me. Take this, flying hard crop. Pinky, my punch didn't work, and slamming into this tree hurt a little.
Well, that's odd.
All right, I think we got time to do one more page. So pick one.
Oof,
And maybe
there's so many. Oh god, just one more page. 13. Page 13. Oh, there's no lines. Oh god, wait. Oh no, page 11. 11.
11. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got it.
Oh, we got another
Oh yeah, we got Darius. Yeah,
We finally have a boy,
kind of boy. Yeah.
which means I can't play that. So
Rhys.
it's like a rule on the
okay.
show. I'm not allowed to role play. I'm not allowed
See,
to do the voice acting.
we're on. Is it the one with the? Okay, that we start with that one. Okay. Do.
I'll be the sound effects. How about that?
Let me sound effects.
Here we
Okay.
go. Perfect.
Blam blam.
I'll protect you. Are you hurt?
Kind of.
I'll keep it busy so you can run away to your ballet recital.
Oh, actually, it's a magic dress. I was fighting the monster earlier.
That's impossible. There's no way to be able to fight in such a ridiculous outfit.
Oh, you're one to talk.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, my turn to save the world, and available on multiple websites, on Webtoon, on Global Comics,
And that's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, but that's still
Maybe
multiple. So,
Oh yeah, Tapas. There's Tapas.
I was thinking
keep
about
oh
forgetting
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
So everyone else does too.
And I believe links will be in chat as well to follow that along. So if you're keen on this, it's a very hilarious series.
Real
Let's talk.
laughs, real drama, and real action.
Definitely.
Yes.
So now we've done our wonderful top tier voice acting. Who wants to go? I think we usually start from let's start from the bottom. So Metal, we'll work our way up for what did you enjoy about My Turn to Save the World? It's My Turn to Save the World.
Lost Metal.
Did we lose Metal?
Oh, I
Not
as
really.
soon as we ended, I realized that I didn't put deodorant on, and I ran off to do that because I could see myself, and I had no idea you were gonna call on me first.
Not making us comic fans look good that way. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it was great because when you were gone,
Any nerds
you're like,
are
Metal, what
allowed
did you
to
like about
shower?
this?
I know, yeah, perfect comedic timing though.
it was Metal. What did you like about this book? And it was silence. And so now he's like, "Well, thanks, guys."
Yeah.
No, I can't answer that though. Probably the thing I like the most about this, is kind of like a combo of the writing and the art, since comics, a lot of the writing is the art, and it is her facial expressions really got me a lot. I could probably tell there's some inspiration there. There are definitely specific expressions that just reminded me of Usagi from Sailor Moon, another magical girl character. And I just like her expressions all over the place were great. It was selling the scene.
No, that's great stuff.
Absolutely.
Let me follow that up with this series. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain why I like it so much. It really is a mixture of the art and the writing, and the artwork. There's some charm that Nanji is able to bring to the page, and it's hard for me to put my finger on it. And I think expression is, I think Metal's onto something there, because I loved the characters' attitudes, like the exuberance, the effervescence. Actually, that's a really great word to use there, that these characters have. It's very much, I think, in the vein of a kind of, is it Coma? The 4-panel kind of,
Yeah.
It's in the vein of that, but you're using the American style kind of like 1-page punchline. So each of these pages functions as its own like separate punchline. So you can read each of these pages kind of as an individual strip. But it also functions as a kind of, complete comic book story from beginning to end. And that's a very interesting, just from a structural point of view. And I'm a big fan of comic book form and different experiments with form. And so the fact that you're making a very conscious structural decision to do both of these elements. I do a humor strip, but I do the strip form, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4 punch with 4 panels. And like I said, you're doing something that's in a similar vein, but also juggling the needs of doing a normal, 20 to 30 page, storyline in full page form. So from a formal standpoint, I appreciate that. The humor of it's great. Like I said, even the artwork, on initial viewing, I'm almost like, am I going to like this? I don't know. But by 4 or 5 pages in, just the charm, this book is just oozing with so much charm. And I think, I'm disappointed that we only have these first few chapters, and I'm like, where's the next one? Where's the next one? So that's always a good problem to have. This is I think it's the second time I've read through some of this, but excellent material. Definitely very high recommend. So that's me. On to Mark.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the writing above all. The humorous moments are really funny. A couple of times I found myself laughing out loud. I love the dynamics between the characters, especially since you got these are middle schoolers that have just entered that stage of life, and so they're so it seems like they still got the old elementary school attitude about the opposite sex, while at the same time developing new feelings about it. And I also like the fact that the best friend dynamic between the girly girl and the tomboy, that's always rife with odd couple humor right there. I just like the way. I also really like the way the main character is just goes in with some reluctance, but also a lot of overconfidence when it comes to fighting monsters. So I'm really looking forward to reading more of this. And I think that's about all I have to say about it.
All right, Colin, you're up.
A very colorful comic. I like comics that are just oozing with color. Mostly because I'm more of a person attracted to visuals when I read comic books. What else? I think I enjoy I think my favorite part was when they were just fighting the evil caterpillar. That got a good chuckle out of me, mostly because it's like when I saw it was a caterpillar, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Just this little harmless thing you think about, and it's trying to kill you. That's great. I love it.
I love the traffic cone.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
They fought the traffic.
I love it when people animate objects or little animals that way and whatnot.
Oh gosh, it was straight out of Power Rangers. It's like whatever random nonsense this week's gonna
Mhm.
get animated into some monster.
Yeah, there's kind of it feels like there's kind of almost like a 90s feeling to it, like just a 90s cartoon and whatnot people would read and whatnot. I'm a little too young for a lot of that, but that's the vibe I got from it.
All right, Rhys.
Well, I'm actually a little too old for a lot of that, right? So when Power Rangers hit the scene, I was already like a senior in high school. The tokusatsu format wasn't something that I was really all that interested in. I like, American comic books. I like, that whole thing. But one of the things that has happened in the last few years is I've taken the time to explore and expand a little bit of my reading into more Japanese comics. And one of the things that I have loved for years is cross-genre storytelling. And to do a really good cross-genre story, what you got to do is be able to maintain the truth of, and the conceits of the different genres in order to get a story. Like if you get a like Clue, right? Clue is a great comedy mystery. It's a comedy whodunit, but the whodunit doesn't take a back seat to the comedy, and the comedy doesn't take a back seat to the whodunit. And that was the kind of thing where I'm reading this through, and it's this perfect magical girl story that is also has this boy tokusatsu hero in it, and his perspective on things, that more pseudoscience, science fiction kind of take on the genre is perfect matched in there, and I love that. But it's also in that, because you're dealing with these middle schoolers, you're dealing with the same kind of material as like Richie Rich or Little Devil or Little Lulu or those kind of comedy books, and it's perfectly comical in the same way that it's meeting all these other criteria. And that's one thing to me, that the two things I love about it. And one is that it's just this perfect example of this cross genre storytelling, and that goes down to even the dialogue. I mean, the kids talk like kids, and that's one of the things that I really enjoyed reading. And so that was one of the things I really liked about it. The other thing that I really, really loved about it is taking it from the perspective of a dad whose kids are grown. I could go back and I can see, this reflecting on them when they were young, even though I had boys, not girls. But it's still one of those things where the interaction between the characters is all so true to life, and there is a
It's true to life in a very innocent way, which is
and that's exactly what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like being a middle-aged, grandparent aged dude now, there is a joy in seeing kids act like kids, and not in the like stupid kids get off of my lawn sort of way, but if you see a kid who's in the middle of doing all the things and discovering the things and learning and growing, and it's just wonderful to watch. And I think one of the things you do with this book, Nanji, is you're able to tap into that kind of energy, and it gives this wholesomeness, and that is on the same level as the level of the comedy in the book and the level of the action that is in the book. So it is authentic, down to its roots, and I love that about it. So
One other thing I will say real quick is, I think it was Colin that mentioned something that made this cross my mind. As like how it was. I was. Rhys was too old for Sailor Moon Power Rangers. Colin was too young. I was right there in the middle of it, and
I'm
can
there with you.
I can confirm that it does feel like that in a lot of ways. It's like I felt like it was both satirizing and paying tribute uh, to those old shows and genres, while at the same time this is very much its own thing. And if I could compare the humor to anything that I've seen, it would probably be a slightly less uh, a slightly less mean spirited version of Slayers, the anime. If anybody has seen that one,
I have not.
Do you
I do
consider
recommend it.
Slayers mean spirited?
I mean, the characters are mean spirited.
Okay, that a couple of them, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I also wanted to mention that I loved the little gaming references when the Junkyard Wolf character, the our Power Rangers guy there, Darius, right? And he's like, oh, crap, I forgot that was on cooldown. And it's like I play a lot of I played a lot of League of Legends back in the day, and I was like, he just used his ultimate, he used his R skill, and it's on a 60-second cooldown. So those little references were, again, it tickled me pink.
Yeah, and also like his whole kit, right? He's got this very like Takusatsu, Super Sentai kind of look to his uniform, but his weapons look like toys, right? Like,
Well, that's also very fitting because all their weapons were made to look like toys, so they can make.
So you could sell toys, right?
That's
But I mean, also it's really interesting in the idea of this kid's like 12, 13 years old, and so of course he's going to think that the coolest thing that exists is the sword that's made to sell swords to 12-year-olds.
Yeah. The quote Freakazoid, just how toyetic can you get?
So I absolutely loved that part of it too, because it was just 100% fun, just 100% fun. So yeah, does anybody have complaints that they feel they need to lodge
Complaints. Yes, I've got
against this
I have a
corrective
complaint.
action that needs to take before?
I have a huge complaint. I have a big one. Okay. Where's more of my comics?
Work got hard. I had to focus on work.
Oh goodness.
Work got hard. That feels real to me.
Oh goodness. No excuses. I need my entertainment. But
well, I do have one artistic question that I want to ask, and it's specifically about this chapter, right? Okay. Something I wasn't sure about what I was seeing. So the caterpillar morphs into this giant caterpillar with giant like boxing glove kind of appendages. Are those supposed to be fists, or are they supposed to be like dealy bopper appendages? I wasn't sure what I was looking at. That's the only thing I didn't understand.
Yes. Yeah. No. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like big, whatever, like dumbbell ball, like old timey dumbbell balls. Like,
okay.
Because I thought that'd be funnier than actual fists, and I didn't have to draw fists if I did that.
Touche.
No, I got the wrecking ball idea there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure what it was because they definitely had like articulated elbow, shoulder kind of action with it, and so that made me just wonder of what I was looking at with what's growing on the end of this guy's arms. But man, the fight is just so much fun. Yeah, I love it.
So let's give Nanji a chance to ask us.
Well, I was going to say one thing.
I was
going to give a piece of advice. I don't know how well you could translate it because I'm not sure what the actual limits of your artistic ability is. But given what you're doing with the characters and how it even occasionally has like this, it's mostly flatted. Sometimes there's like a cell shade here and there type thing, but it gives like this cartoon animated vibe. And you have very simplistic backgrounds. I think it probably would aid your art a lot if you just kind of roughly painted the backgrounds and like deleted the line art and stuff afterwards, similar to like how old cartoons just had painted backgrounds. It doesn't even have to look more complicated than what you're already doing, but it would also help your characters pop out of the backgrounds a lot more.
I'm pushing the limits of my artistic ability as is. So, but yeah, I considered doing that in the past, and so I will try to see if I can get it to work.
All right.
'Cause I agree. I've seen that in myself. I kind of wanted to do that.
Cool. Do you have any questions? Well, actually, no option. Give us a question that you can ask us that we can respond to. Like I said, is there something that as creators, we always have that one thing. I hope people notice this when I put it in there. But like, is there anything like that you want to ask the panel, or any other question you'd like to ask?
Yeah, the big thing is like in every chapter so far, I transitioned from the 4-panel like format to a traditional page format for like the dramatic, kind of the fight scene, I guess. And like how'd you like it? I guess is the question. Like, is that good? Was it good? Did you even notice that the transition happened?
That's interesting. So I'll speak for myself, is that I might say that I think part of me maybe noticed, because like I said, I did notice that we were doing the kind of like 4-panel thing, but I don't know if I counted it. And
from now on in the page, it's a page.
No, I can see that. And so I think the transition works just fine, because I didn't really notice it enough for it to take me out of what I was reading. So I think I think it worked. And it's great.
To double on you, right, is that the 4-panel format is already in like these very narrow vertical panels, so it still already kind of feels like a page anyway.
But let me just add to that and say that I think the fact that you're doing it this way consciously, that you're kind of like weaving in and out, that's something that I think I alluded to a little earlier. I like that, because if you only did one, you only did like the 4-strip thing, it might get a little old, and it would be difficult to then transition to kind of do some fun action scenes when we want to do them. And I love the fact that you do both. So the fact that you weave between both, yes. I don't think I registered it as consciously as you delivered on it, but subconsciously I was registering some of that, and I was definitely liking what I saw.
And that's a sign of a good comic, when the panels just kind of flow and you don't notice that kind of stuff, and it just tells the story in that way.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
I personally thought the transitions were really well done. They, going back to how you do it in kind of a sort of a comic strip format. You end each page on a cliffhanger, but if you're reading it all at once, you can move on to the next page, and the transition is seamless, so you don't get any sort of last time this happened whiplash like you used to with old comic strips, because they had to, since they came out daily, and there was probably a point where you missed a strip, they had to keep reminding you what happened the previous day. And but no, you did really well in terms of transitioning from one page to another. With each, at the end of each page, I feel like if I have to, I can set it down for a moment before coming back to it, because each page feels like a pretty good stopping point. But you have a good enough story that makes me want to keep reading.
One of the other things that I also like about in terms of your layouts, is because you're doing a lot of long panels, the reading experience, whether it's on page turns or a vertical scroll, is not interrupted. I think that's one of the things that it's a hard it's a hard thing to like play between those formats. And when it comes to reading webcomics, there's there are limits with how people can take them in these days because of formatting and popular platforms. But I think your actual page designs do a lot to maximize the readability of it across those different platforms without having to do a lot of work to reorganize the page for your different types of formats. So I think that's in addition to giving you lots of space to play with action, it also makes it easier for the reader, I think.
Cool.
Also, this is one of my favorite bits right here.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
I don't think I didn't notice the Yamcha pose.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you. They like if you,
I immediately knew what was going on there.
This is saying like, are there any references that people didn't catch? I made sure none of my references were subtle. Like
I think that was probably my biggest chuckles when I saw the Yamcha pose, just because it was like I didn't expect it.
I'm not even sure what a Yamcha is, so I probably missed that.
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Are we going to have to educate Rhys on anime memes?
Oh, you
in a
do.
future
I guess you're
episode?
gonna have to.
There's some that I get and some that I don't. So that's.
You know what? I found the panel I was thinking of too, where like this expression and pose is like 100% something Sailor Moon would have done.
Oh yeah,
And it's this one right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I just love how you're able to live within. I mentioned this on my thing. But I love how you're able to live within these genre contexts and take the opposing assumptions and play them against each other for action and for fun. What is it? Aspen Snowpiper asks. I don't know what your.
I think he's referring to the Yamcha pose. Do you
Oh.
want to share that? It's from a.
Yeah, I can even go find the panel it was on to, and then I can find the.
Yeah. Let's
Yamcha
do
pose.
that. Yeah. It's a very famous part of Dragon Ball Z where Yamcha, who's one of the Z fighters, who never really. Yeah, here we go. He's kind of one of the lower tier ones. He kind of gets. He's a jobber essentially in WWE terms. Yeah. And he eventually just, I think, gets promoted to bystander at a certain point.
Yeah.
And
well,
one of his
sort of now.
But one of his
Yamcha's still stronger than like most characters most people like, and they like to belittle him like he's nothing. I'm like, dude, this dude could destroy a galaxy if he wanted to at this point.
Well, he's still kind of a. I know that according to Team 4 Star, he's a bit of a joke. He's definitely not in the same. He's not in the same tiers as a lot of the other characters. But the point is that in an early fight scene, he gets cratered, and this KO cratered pose became an internet meme, and it's been endlessly referenced not only in Japanese media but in American media as well.
Well, because it was also a big moment in the manga, because you'd say that in Dragon Ball Z he was a jobber turned background character practically, but he was actually a main character in the earlier chapters before Goku became an adult.
Yeah, and a lot of it was. I mean, they use jobbers sometimes in the same way, so it's not an appropriate term.
I mean, yeah, somebody can.
It was for scaling, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
It's like to actually show you how tough the bad guy is. Like you see the foot there as a Cyberman. The Cybermen were supposed to be as strong as Raditz was in the previous like.
He definitely became a jobber at this point, where he was previously a mid-carder.
Okay, sorry, this is a bit off topic, but I'd like to go back to talk about the comic.
Good point. All right.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't trace the screenshot for this.
No, definitely not.
No, definitely not.
Alrighty. Aspen says thank you. Yeah, good to see you. And again, thank you to everyone. Just a shout out to chat. Thank you, Aspen. Thank you, Viscoso. Thank you, Nate. And I think we had Drake Tungsten there for a little bit, and Tankatron. Thank you for all the new voices and people in chat. You make the show wonderful to do.
It was an important tangent. An audience member specifically asked for.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There we
yeah,
go.
no, absolutely.
Hey, I'm just surprised we've been able to keep more or less on track.
Well, I mean,
It's because I'm here. I'm shepherding you guys.
Yeah.
and we appreciate it, definitely. We don't need to talk about Grant Morrison or anything like that this week. We can leave all of that behind.
We're not going to talk. Yeah, we're not going to do a Kingdom Come tangent.
Oh no, please don't.
We're not going to talk about Kingdom Come.
You could see Rhys being tempted.
I've heard it.
Rhys, what is it about
Can I
Kingdom
do
Come?
that?
That,
No,
don't
don't
do it. You know, I would like to be able to talk about mine in a few minutes.
Actually, okay.
It's
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Actually, perfect timing.
In one
So
sentence,
We'll
what
stall
it
a
is.
little bit long. Oh gosh. Okay, elevator pitch. All right.
Nanji, are you ready for the elevator pitch?
Yep.
Here,
I
let me
am.
get the visuals up first.
Alrighty.
Easily, I'll just move this into this window. And go away, Yamcha. Okay, whenever you're ready, we can go. Wait, darn it, it double clicked.
So the mystical Emerald Man follows the life of Stephen Barnes, who after his father tragically passes, he has inherited a mystical emerald that allows him to transform into a druidic superhero and is thrust into a thousands of year war or conflict where men inherit this emerald like the Phantom and fight off the evil Fetch. And in between fighting his nemesis, the Fetch, he has to fight many different other supervillains in very much like a Silver Age comic style, and it's great.
The Mystical Emerald Man, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that's how you're supposed to pronounce the title in like the old 60s like transatlantic announcer voice.
Last time on the Mystical Emerald Man, our hero found himself in a sticky wicket.
I mean, if you're reading the narration in there, that's how it's supposed to be read. So there you go.
Will he overcome or will he fall to the agents of darkness? Stay tuned. Alrighty, so excellent. Alrighty, so let's again start from. We'll start from the top this time. So, wait, who's moving stuff around? Oh, I see what you've done. So we. Okay, Rhys, you're muted. All right, now I don't know what to do. Okay, so we're going to start from the bottom again because I see what you did there. But we're going to start from the bottom. But Tankatron, I want the entire comic read in that voice. Oh, that's right. We forgot to do we're going to do the voice acting. Okay, well, if there's any narration, I guess I'm doing the narration.
Oh my goodness. I've been talking and I forgot I had myself muted.
Oh.
Alrighty, so yeah, we'll definitely do some voice acting here.
Yeah. If
you might have to refresh the page
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm
sometimes,
doing that.
Yeah, global.
It's also on Webtoons,
especially if it's a
that makes
larger
it easier
file
for you
size.
guys.
Actually, yes. Pull it up on Webtoons then, because Global Comics will make us do the panel by panel.
Yeah, will.
You can turn that
well,
off.
actually, turn that off.
You can turn it off. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can?
I've
How
got
do you
it
do
set
that?
up.
Yeah, you have to. There's a.
I mean,
settings,
it's a pain.
Well, here.
Yeah.
Oh
It's a pain to
gosh,
show,
and you
I
can
wish
actually,
I had known that.
Where is it? Panel
enjoy-
reading. You just.
I'm glad
turn
I
it
do
off.
now.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Oh gosh, much better. All right. Okay, so we've got a few
I by
characters here.
default have it on 2 page. Let me actually put it to 1 page.
Okay.
There's There we go.
Vertical.
Vertical. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
then
Vertical.
it puts
me
all the
just
pages
scroll.
below it, so you just scroll up.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got 3 scientists for the first few pages here. Who want to play? Who do we have playing the scientists?
I'll be the male scientist with the gray hair.
Alrighty. So that's
I'll
Dr.
be the
Dwarn.
I'll be the director.
All right, director. All right, then we have our villainess.
Enoch, is that guy's name?
The director is that, yeah. All right, I will play. Oh, fine. I was gonna
play
play
Miss Matter here.
No, I'm gonna reserve. Do we have any narration? Because if there's any caption boxes, I will read those in old timey voice.
He definitely needs to do that.
I think on the first page there is.
I can't remember if there are.
All right, if we run into any.
Oh wait, never mind.
If we run into any, I will definitely do those.
I'm looking. I don't see any.
Yes, there is. Well, hold on.
Yeah, I don't see any.
No, that's
either
the
on this one.
newsreel.
I'll read the newsreel then.
Yep.
Sure.
Here we
go. There's one right there. One single.
I will read the newsreel and I will read the caption. We'll read to that point.
You're gonna do the voice. To the
So we need someone else.
On as
We need.
well.
we need,
Get
I can probably do the newscasters too. I'll do all the news stuff. I'll handle all the news stuff, and someone else can be Miss Matter.
I'll do that one.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Oh no, I'm gonna blush so hard during through this.
All right.
Alrighty.
Things look stable.
Wonderful. The machine is a success.
The Big Bang, written, created, and illustrated by Colin Lamping.
I take it the tests are going well.
Director Enoch, a pleasure to see you. Our tests are almost complete.
Wonderful to hear, Dr. Matter. I see Dr. Darn is with you as well.
Barely. She seems to enjoy doing things herself.
You know, if this succeeds, the Board of Scientific Advancements will reward both of you handsomely.
There is one concern. There is one concern I had, Director Enoch. If you will allow me to give you a few of my thoughts. One test proved to be unstable at the most generous assessment. There was too much energy flow between the projector spaces. I fear what would happen at high power demonstration. As dark matter here theorized it, as Dr. Matter here theorized it, it could materialize dark matter sorry, let me try that again. As Dr. Matter theorized it, it could materialize dark matter and Terran space-time.
Rhys.
Excuse me? The demonstration is ready. Dwayne is just being overly cautious.
It's wonderful. Wonderful to hear, Dr. Matter. I look forward to tomorrow.
So,
Yes.
caution to the wind, then.
Look, Seth, I've had it up to here with you. You're always delaying my projects. You're off for good. You won't be delaying me again.
I see. This is about your own glory. Very well. My words of warning mean nothing. I had hoped that an up-and-coming student like you would be more insightful, but I was wrong. You were just chosen for the sake of this institution's prestige, not your mind.
Oh, I didn't work my way into this position just to be treated like this, but he will learn. They will all learn. I am the greatest mind of the century. I'll show him that he was just a coward, and then I'll get the respect I rightfully deserve.
Last night, a magnitude 4.0 earthquake hit downtown Portland. Only 4 people were found injured in the event. Advanced Medical Solutions announces the ousting of prominent scientist Ken Orley. He was caught After the quake, police arrested the gang leader Mario Valentine and his lackeys. They were the victims of the quake. With Dilly Mercury's child sites, O'Leary feigns innocence, but his colleague Henry O'Donnell thinks. Reports also say that Emerald Man was spotted fleeing the scene before the police had arrived. Could this be his comeback after such a long hiatus? Oh boy, I sure hope so. Stuart, and I hope he comes once you do sometime. Goodness, I always did wonder what he looked like under that mask.
Kate, you're live. Remember? Cut it out.
Otherwise, Aurelia has a strange suspicion of his disease. I would keep a close eye on him. He may try something.
Is that where we cut it off?
Do we cut it off here, or do we need new voices?
All right. So,
we
Colin,
have
do
to
you want us?
cast new voices at this point.
Do you want us to keep going, or yeah? Let's,
Up to you guys. I mean, this is entertaining to me.
how many pages does it take to read the caption?
Yeah, I know Portland's a horrible city. That's why the setting is there.
You'll never run out of villains to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I think there's a good spot. Actually, no, let's do one more. Let's scroll down to maybe midway through the comic. Let's get to maybe a bit of an action scene with the Emerald Man himself, so we can show that off for our audience.
Yeah, they'll be at the end.
At the end, okay. So let's get towards the end there.
Don't mind me, just a bunch of destruction there. There you go.
You too can read this on your own
I'm
time.
also the villain. That's right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Tell me when you want to stop.
Keep going. We want a scene with both Emerald Man and her. Right here, perfect. Okay, let's do this last page, and then we can jump into
I
discussion.
can
Who's gonna
be
voice the
Emerald
Emerald
Man
Man?
if that's all right.
Who hasn't gone yet?
Oh,
We
okay.
have
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize somebody hadn't gone.
I think
I mean,
Metal.
if he wants to be Emerald Man, he can, but I'm fine with doing it.
Yeah, you
All
can
right,
do it, Metal.
Metal, your Emerald Man.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, now Rhys, you now have to do a villain voice, so
Which is
even
the
more,
same as the voice you have been doing.
I was like,
but more evil.
The more evil and sexier. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll try that. I'll try that. I'll sound like Julia Child. Emerald Man, isn't it? Looking for the poor little director? You can have him. And everyone will learn to respect me.
Okay, less sexy next time.
Actually, wait. Hold on a second. I got an idea. Ready? We're gonna make this a little tinny. There we go. Sorry, ma'am. It's hard to respect a cold-blooded killer like you.
If you intend to stop me, you'll need to find more. You'll need more than a few punches, of course. With a small mind like yours, I wouldn't expect you to figure that out. Now, I need to make an example out of you too. Prepare to meet the crushing defeat at the hand of Ms. Matter.
All right, and I think that. Oh no, okay, we can stop there.
There's you.
Wait, it's you.
Pointless,
I
there you
know,
go.
I know. Will Emerald Man escape from the grasp of Miss Matter? Find out next issue in this matter of Ms. Matter. Stay tuned. Dun dun dun.
And scene.
There
And
we go.
great.
Okay.
Thank you for doing the voice, Rhys. Made that
Fine.
100% more entertaining.
Round of applause for all of our voice actors. Excellent job, everybody. Jim Tuner. Oh gosh, you.
Oh no. One of my friends who's trying to become a veterinarian is watching,
That's
I'm
fine.
sure.
Oh,
Change his name to Bass Tuner.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Okay,
at least-
so
at least in superhero universities, maybe.
oh gosh. No one should be a science.
Yeah, literally everyone
no
should
one
be
should
banned
be a
from
scientist.
science in
Yeah.
superhero universes.
one
Till we
Even the
figure some-
heroes end up doing
Yeah,
bad
we need a
things.
complete and total ban of science till we figure this thing out. Okay.
Like, I can't tell you how many like comics in the 60s the guy's just like, oh, I'm gonna sip this thing in the freaking test tube, and it's like
Yeah, Ultron. Ultron seems like a good idea.
yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm
Ultron.
kind of reminded of that Gary Larson comic where it's in a laboratory and a whole bunch of scientists have weird looking faces except for one which they're offering a test tube to, and the caption says
I know what you're talking about.
scientific peer pressure or something like that.
I know which one you're talking about. Yes, that one's great.
So starting from the bottom, let's work our way back up to the top. And what did you enjoy about the Mystical Emerald Man?
I have actually read Clear up until this issue, maybe a little after. I really like the style here of the style of the art. It's correct me if I'm wrong, but I do see a little bit of Bruce Timm in that artwork.
There is a little bit, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's like and it's like there's also that feeling of an old Silver Age comic, but I also, because of the coloring, I'm also kind of getting vibes of an old 1990s animated show from HBO or HBO, where the old Spawn show was on, and probably a little bit of some MTV animation with the coloring style. I would also say I I would also say the story itself. It's a really well done superhero story. I you I like the way that the character is laid to bear right in front of us. For me, personally, the reluctant hero is a hard sell, but I think it's done pretty well here. I think the character's reasons for not wanting to be a hero is uh, is perfectly valid. He's grieving, and especially since he's found out that this is a power that was handed down to him from his father via the spirit of the jewel, and it's like he just sees this jewel as something that his father that did his father in, and he wants no part of it. But it's like when, but of course, as always happens in good superhero stories, when somebody he cares about is in danger, he realizes his call to duty. And it's like I said, good writing, good style, brilliant coloring, especially. And I would highly recommend this to people who haven't read it yet.
I'm always surprised when people say my coloring is good. I'm a little bit self-conscious about it, actually, but
Alrighty. So Nanji.
Yeah. So I really liked it. I guess the what I'd praise is the writing. I really hit the kind of Silver Age feel that he was going for, like especially like it was kind of around the, like, I didn't read the blurb before just reading the comics, so it was around the end of like issue 3 where he finishes his origin, and the start of like issue 4. I'm like, oh wait, I see what you're doing. Type of scenario, because I was actually more expecting like a continuous narrative against just the main bad guy, Fetch. And so like that kind of realization was like, oh, that's actually pretty neat, I guess. So I feel like what you're trying to go for, you hit really well. And yeah, the reluctant hero, I'll just mirror that. Like it's hard to pull off, and you did a good job. I felt, I was convinced that, like, he doesn't have he shouldn't do this. Like, why should he have the powers? And then, even though I knew he has to, because he's the main character. And yeah, and the artwork, I guess I'll just mirror the same praises. I thought the artwork was good. It did what you're trying to do. And yeah, I liked it. Appreciate it. I like his power set. I like that you can have a lot of creativity with like what he does with his powers, because he can actually, I don't know the full extent of it, which I mean is why I'm curious. But yeah, he could definitely manipulate rocks, manipulate matter, and and create lots of the different like lateral thinking like scenarios to get out of trouble, which I thought was really fun. So yeah, and I thought Miss Matter had a good villain intro or villain origin story. I like that too. I also like the little mystery at the end of like what the heck's going on with his girlfriend or his friend that is a girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's legit. Rhys.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I really dug this series. As you might guess from my overall demeanor, the idea of like Celtic studies, and incorporating that into hero stories is something that I've always had a fondness for. In fact, something that I'm doing on the sly a little bit in Forces here and there, my webcomic. And so I had first seen I can't remember how I became aware of your comic there, Colin. But I checked it out.
I spread it around everywhere. I spread it around everywhere.
Right, but I'm just saying I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw it somewhere, and I was like, okay, I'll check this out. And the first couple of pages, you had me kind of intrigued, trying to see how that all shook out and of it in history and all that kind of stuff. I really liked that whole idea. But one of the things that I really appreciated about it was that is that you have this great sensibility for the classic American superhero comic stories, right? I mean, this Emerald Man's the whole book would sit very well inside or next to like Dr. Fate or the Hawkman stories. It's got that same kind of energy to it. I love the episodic aspect of it. I love the Rogues Gallery that has going on there. The idea that that Stephen is reluctant and then he accepts his thing is very, very classic, but it doesn't feel tired at all because the nature of his complaints makes sense too. And so that's one of the things I just really enjoyed in the story. And I liked how you're fleshing out the background characters in each story as it goes along. You're not just having one kind of giant lore dump about everybody at City Hall and everybody that Colin knows and all this other kind of stuff, right? You found organic ways of feeding those things in so that you're introducing them to the reader in little pieces at a time. There are a bunch of lore questions that I've got.
Yes.
So I don't want to take a whole lot of time just like drilling into that. And I've only gotten up to issue 7, so I know there's more out there too. So so I don't want to just be a big spoiler fest or whatever, but I really enjoy, like I said, the silver, the golden age, the classic American feel that you've got to it, while also telling a fast-paced, quick-moving, compelling story. So there you go. That's the long and the short of it.
All righty. Where do I start? So
I forgot. I got one more thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really like thematically is the juxtaposing the idea of the created order being a good thing and man's dominion of the created order being a good thing, and the perversion of the created order being a bad thing, and man's abuse of the created order being a likewise bad thing. And so you've got this idea of man as you know, what his duties versus his responsibilities within that world as a meta narrative within the hero's narrative. So okay, sorry.
Oh yeah. So
I'm really done this time. Sorry.
So no, there's a lot of things to like here. So again, I'll echo some of the idea of I like the Celtic superhero. I have interests in Celtic studies as well. Not nearly as much as Rhys is, but I definitely have a soft spot for it. So I like that, that there's that representation, as it were. And there's something about channeling Celtic superhero stuff in a way, and it's, I know they do it in mainstream, but I I don't know if they do it a lot, or at least in extremely obvious ways. I think that when we get
Or
voices, I was going to say, like, we get, like, Lucky Clover character or something, right? But when the Brits write, they're usually writing British characters, and they're not, like, in a rush to be like, let me dive into, like, really, they want to dive into maybe more British lore as opposed to Irish in particular. So I still think there's a lot to plumb from there that's untapped. So it's really cool to see that on display. Just seeing that alone as an aesthetic. It's I think it makes for some really compelling superhero stuff. So just the core concept of it is something that I am intrigued by and I like. Other things that stand out to me that I think I also want to point out is it's very clear that you are approaching this as a work of as an expression of your personal faith. You make no, you're not hiding that at all. Every issue starts with a Bible verse. And yet at the same time, one thing that I can say I definitely appreciate about this work is the fact that I never felt preached at. So even though you start every adventure with a Bible verse, which could not be more, like, this is the work influenced by a man of faith, I did not feel like the book was a gospel tract. It functioned. So that's one of the I think it's one of the most praiseworthy things I can say is the fact of how well you balance. So both of our works today, ladies and gentlemen, if I can say, are both handling balancing things very, very well. Whether it's My Turn to Save the World, balancing its humor and action, or Colin handling some very clear conviction and religious conviction at that is deeply influencing the work, and yet not doing so in an obnoxious way. The characters are not reciting Bible verses to each other. It's not like an episode of Unshackled. If anyone grew up with that. So like the way you're handling that is Unshackled was like a radio show, and it was Bible or it was testimonials essentially. It had organ music, and by the end of every testimonial, the characters would basically be speaking in scripture, and which it was, like I said, it was a little on the nose. But you're not doing that, and so like I said, so someone who is not religious, I think, could read this and enjoy it, and not, like I said, they could, get either or out of it. So you're handling that extremely well. It functions as a kind of classic. I think I could definitely see, now that I'm thinking about it, that Bruce Timm DC animated universe kind of feel to the stories and how they're set up. I love that. I definitely something I work with when I work on Adventures of Omega Girl, my comic, definitely similar to that. Definitely not a chick tract. who we have covered on this show. I mean, for example, the character we have here,
shaded black chick, but this is not that.
Yeah, definitely. Gosh, we got so much flack for that show, by the way. I think we never gotten more pushback than when we did our show.
Really?
Chick.
I don't
just
think
in general.
I guess I didn't. I never saw that. I'll go back.
Just
I guess
in general, there was some pushback.
I guess I'll just continue not paying attention to what other people say about me.
Okay, so back to Mystical Emerald Man. One thing I want to point out is like this character here, who's definitely not. You can see the influence of like Batman Beyond, like with ink, in some of the design aspects, but she's very clearly her own character, and so I love that as well. And what else? Oh, and then as was mentioned, the not girl, the romantic lead having a sort of very mysterious side to her that you're kind of building on throughout the series. Excellent bit of storytelling there. So you've got a lot of really good elements going on that I enjoyed. So definitely, if you have a chance, check out Mystical Emerald Man. Cool Celtic superhero cool classic superhero action. Take it away, Metal.
Hey. So the thing I appreciate, like, obviously, I'm not going to echo the Celtic stuff. Anybody who's watched any of the episodes I've been on know equally to Rhys, I care about the Celtic stuff. So I'm not going to echo any of that. He's already covered it. One of the things I like is just how old this comic feels. Like the storytelling style, it just feels like a classic comic. and like unashamedly, like an old school,
That's
almost like
pleasant to hear.
golden silver age comic. Like I feel like if I were to flip back to maybe the 40s, I would probably read a comic like this, and like not bat my eye about it. So that's good. It's got like this semi nostalgic feel to it, without looking that way because it's clearly very digital in a way that you wouldn't get back then. And because of that, the characters are also unashamedly just over the top, and I like over the top characters.
Alrighty.
One,
Oh, go ahead.
one thing I will say real quickly that I wanted to say but forgot. I do like how this comics starts out small. First couple issues we're fighting the mob, and then as soon as you hit issue 3, you just slam on the accelerator, and here we are. We're dealing with portals that can turn people into dark matter. It's like it's a tonal whiplash, but a good kind.
Yeah, one of the amazing things superheroes can do is they can go anywhere. You can have your dealing with small city toughs on the one hand, and then suddenly it's sci-fi. Very much in the vein. I agree, in the vein of classic Silver Golden Age work there, and we definitely need more of that. So I definitely agree. Let's see. So Colin, do
Yes.
you have any? No, it was just there is no option. What question do you have for us for the panel?
Well, what I was originally going to ask is to see if anyone was noticing the subplot of Carolina, but clearly they did, obviously.
Check.
Yeah. Guess the only thing I can ask is every now and then I'll add some little other subtleties into the comic going on, and particularly with like people's eye movements and everything like that, or like things in the background or other things like that. I'm not sure if people notice it all the time, but I wanted to know if you guys were picking up on some of that. Oh, and also wanted to know what you guys thought of some of the action scenes.
They were very fluid.
I get it because like Miss Matter is like a liquid.
Oh, I got it.
Ah!
Oh, yeah. I like the fight scenes. Yeah, like I said, I liked how he would get in a jam like relatively quickly because he's inexperienced, and then just have to like think on his feet of like, oh, I can control the ceiling panel and get an escape, or create an earthquake and things like that. So I like the progression of the fights in particular.
Yeah, I would echo that, but I'd also like to say I really appreciate how you moved past, like, there's not a tremendous amount of self-doubt in every issue, right? Like a lot of one of the big traps that a lot of current comic writers work at is because they're trying to tell the stories of rookie characters. Every issue is just like, oh, I don't think I can do this. And so they have this big identity crisis in every issue. But one of the things that you have with this story is that when he becomes the Emerald Man, he's more or less like, this is his dedication. He's decided this is for him. He's moving along with that decision. So it's not like he's second guessing himself all the time. He has room to grow, but you're actually showing him growing and building upon his previous experiences. And so that's one of the things that I've really appreciated about that as far as the fight scenes go. I also really liked how you were able to, and I think in a way that wasn't overly burdened, but perfectly fit the genre, you were able to build a trust relationship between himself and Donnie, right? In a way,
Danu, yes.
Yeah, in a way that that is mutually beneficial, right? Where he really is able to embrace that concept of fealty, and it's returned and exchanged. So you've got you've got that investment, a mutual investment, and I think that It's it's a little abrupt, but not in a way that betrays the conventions of the type of superhero story you're telling. If you spent much more time on that, it wouldn't be able to be what it is. And so I think that it once again, I think we're talking about strike and balance. That's the theme of today's show. And I think that does a really good job of it. So that by the time we get past those first 3 issues, the reader can easily buy into the cooperative nature of their relationship.
There's also a little bit of medieval themes there, like you pointed out with the fealty, that I'm kind of delving into a little bit. It's a little subtle, but.
So I have a question. So you were asking about the background details. So we read over that sort of ticker tape in the news broadcast, and it mentions a scientist who got let go because of experimenting with deadly pathogens, and then you introduce a plague. Dr. Plague.
Yes.
So is that one of those details that you were?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I got it.
I'll be sure to pay more attention to stuff like that. That's brilliant foreshadowing.
Very well done.
Yeah. I didn't notice it until after. But I also was cool how they were talking about the news report was talking about the last issue. And so that's one of the things I was just like,
one thing I always get annoyed of in comics is like they just will tell you like, well, this happened last issue and that's it. And I was like, I kind of want to delve a little bit into that.
Well, and that's one of the fun things about it too, is like we're talking about this kind of being a throwback in terms of your style. But one of the ways one of the things you're doing that if you've, I don't know if you've watched any of our our Superman discussion about them recently.
I've been watching some of them. Yes.
But one of the elements in there is that we started the series bemoaning the loss of a particular trait of superhero comics, which is the idea of introducing previous events through conversation and through textual elements, so that you're engaging the new readers who just picked up this issue.
The narratorial voice,
the narrative, and also in the way conversations are built, so that you're getting to know the characters as you go along with it. Well, that's one thing that you're doing already, and you were doing from the very beginning, certainly before you started watching our show. And so that's one of the things that I really appreciated, is just that you're writing this with the type of mind to new readers, and you're wanting to introduce them into your world in a way that is consistent and organic and helpful. And so I think, kudos on that. So back to his question, has anybody else appreciated the noticing of things? Because I keep going off on tangents.
Yeah, I noticed the ticker tape too, but only when we were doing the read through. I didn't notice it like on my read through.
Yeah, I always look for stuff like that. Like if I happen to seem like, is this important to the story, or are there like hidden jokes in here? And that's like my first go-to when I'm reading a comic.
Just to point out something, because it's a little spoiler for a later issue, but like there's a panel where Carolina's like, he's lifting off Carolina to take her back home, and she suddenly looks towards like his chest at the emerald. Most people didn't see that, and I noticed. Kind of showing a subtle hint that she knows something.
Okay. No, you've got an eye for kind of putting in facial like reactions and responses, things. You're conscious of that. Like when someone takes a punch, the next day they have a black eye, and it doesn't go away immediately. So like it's you're definitely working with that stuff. Oh, good to see you, Tegatron. And good evening, gentlemen. And
there was a lot of...
That's him being. That's an inside joke. He's being mean to me. I'm gonna get you for that.
Okay. I should say there's also a lot of influence from early Spider-Man that I
saw that. I saw that. Yeah. The facial. There was a panel. It was perfect. I was like, that's a Spider-Man face.
And I was in terms of like elements, did you mean to tap into the the whole Sword of Azrael aspect, because that was one of the parallel that I felt was that the Collins introduction into the superhero world mirrors that of Jean Paul Valley, but instead of having a mentor who's trying to take advantage of him and to lead him to lose his control of himself, he has a mentor who's hoping to help him and to help him gain control of himself. And I didn't know if that was something that was intentional at all or not. But it's one of those things where Jean Paul was always a victim and Stephen is not. And so I didn't know if that was intentional at all, or if I'm just reading that.
Slightly an answer, only because there's a lot of like Batman comics that I do and don't like, and that's one where I felt like I feel like it was a little too pessimistic. There was also some influence from like books like The Hobbit or even like Spider-Man, where a lot of characters are guilt driven, and that's well, not Bilbo Baggins obviously, but a lot of characters are guilt driven, like Batman and Spider-Man. And I was thinking, I feel like wouldn't it be kind of neat to have a character who, while being guilt driven, also kind of has a sense of like knighthood to it in a way. That's kind of what I was trying to do here. There's some like medieval influences with the story of the Everyman, where just a guy who could come out of nowhere gets pushed on like a spiritual journey and everything like that. Kind of to represent, well, anyone really.
Yeah,
stuff like
knight.
that. Yeah.
Well, that's even in the. Why is my brain escaping me for the minute? It doesn't matter. Move on.
Speaking of, oh, sorry. Were you about to move on, Rhys?
No. I was. Yeah, just ignore me.
Okay. Well, speaking of, excuse me. Speaking of Spider-Man, one page I'm looking back on right now is I absolutely love the transformation sequence. You have it. You have when he first transforms into Emerald Man. It's like I really like that you got the threads weaving around his body. That looks really, really cool.
I didn't script that. I do script like my comic books and then draw them out. That was something that just kind of came to me when I was drawing it.
Nice.
Yeah. Your script is draw sequence here.
Yeah.
I love, and again, even I don't draw my own artwork, but I do letter after the fact. And there's something about interacting with the page and letting certain things, like I'll rewrite dialogue. So the story will evolve as I am working with it. And that's something that I think is really neat with comics. Is how much you can, as you unite image and text, there's an opportunity. Not everyone takes advantage of it, but there is an opportunity for things to evolve in some very interesting ways. And when I get artwork back, I'll sometimes not completely, but I'll do some interesting revisions to what is being said on the page. And as an artist, you have a lot of control of how that page evolves and what details will emerge. So there's really interesting things in the craft that I really appreciate. All right. So that is ladies and gentlemen, check out The Mystical Emerald Man, and It's My Turn to Save the World. Both of these comics have some very interesting things in common with each other. I think their color palettes are very similar. In terms of just how colorful they are and how they work with certain elements of color. And I think they're both united in a very youthful spirit that's very refreshing and positive. There's like a sort of innocence, and I say innocence in a very positive way. William Blake's Songs of Innocence versus Blake's Songs of Experience. This is definitely before the dark age of comics, as it were. And
intentionally so. I love the Silver and Bronze Age. Those are my favorite stuff.
Yeah. And so both this and It's My Turn to Save the World are both very in the same vein. And so for those of you who are pure of heart, I think you'll enjoy both of these entries that we discussed for Comics Creators Club. Thank you very much, Colin and Nanji, for sharing them with us.
You're welcome.
And for coming on and discussing them with us. It's been a blast. And we want to see more from both of you. So
Yes.
Yeah, keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, working on
Yeah,
my
on Ash.
10th issue, actually.
yeah, no,
And-
good.
I've been working on this thing for a year now. It's crazy.
So this is wait, you've done these 6 issues in a year?
Well, the first 7 were done in the year, yes.
Dang, you were moving
Or-
fast.
Dude.
Yeah.
I release them every 2 months is what I try to do.
That is wow.
The only reason I do that is because I do more serialized storytelling, kind of like older comics, and I realize if I'm just doing one every now and then, people are gonna lose the plot. So I got to make them fast, and I got to if I want to do the sequential storytelling I usually do on here, I gotta put it on a good pace and whatnot. So
I'm impressed. That's impressive. Wow. So no, I'm definitely looking forward to more of that. Nanji, where's my next issue?
I'll get on it. I have to start scripting. I haven't done that even yet.
Okay.
I know how that
Now
feels.
I mean,
have-
I mean the pressure in the nicest of ways. Give me more. Give me more.
All right.
No, but again, thank you very much for like I said, thank you both for joining us for Comics Creators Club. Thank you, chat, for being such a wonderful chat. Thank you, Owen Zaleski. New people, like a lot of new people that we saw today, at least for our channel.
Yeah.
And so
if you guys are the new folks that are sitting out there, I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to sit here and beg that you check out our other content out there. But if you like the Comics Creators Club, this is our 7th installment where we've gone over other people's properties and books and stories. And I would recommend. I mean, there's lots of books out there that are to be discovered, and a lot of them are available on these different free websites too. So.
Do we
feel
have
free to scope those out, see what they have to do. There is a
we have a-
playlist.
we have a
of
playlist. Okay, I was
Comics
just about to
Creators
say.
Club as well.
Good, awesome. Okay, good. Okay.
Yep. This one is not on that playlist yet, but hopefully I'll remember to do that tonight. So
Good.
Hopefully.
Yeah, an excellent playlist. Like I said, it's an excellent show, and like I said, everyone seems to
And
like it. So
it's Twitless's idea.
it's my
Totally
idea. My one good idea. I got one.
Oh, I
Do
wouldn't
not
say
steal
that.
copyrighted.
Yeah. Original idea. Do not steal.
Do not steal.
Do
Actually,
not-
no. It's more
Donut
steal. Honestly, I would say original idea. Please steal this. We need more of this in comics. So,
Yes.
Steal this idea.
Steal it.
Steal it away.
But also reference back to this so more people watch it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead. I will go ahead and say that all of the rest, we all are all comics creators in one stripe or another. I am the main writer for Ideal Comics. We're available on Global Comics as well. We've got Forces Good and Evil, which is a teenage superhero comedy. And also we're going to be releasing a series called Grab It, the Rabbit Hero in the next few weeks. So you guys can check that out. And yeah. That's there's a whole bunch of free stuff and some stuff that's not free up on Global Comics. Some of our stuff's up on Webtoon as well. Feel free to check it out. Twitless here is the writer for The Adventures of Omega Girl, which is available for sale at some
Indie Planet.
I can't remember the name of this. Indie Planet. Yes. And he also is the writer of the hilarious Super Schooled, which is available right there at that address for y'all. The Metal is does a comic called oh man, I was gonna say Professional Freelancers, but it's not. It's X Dynamos Chaos.
It's got yes.
No, but that is the name of the first.
Which your website
The first
is
episode
always
is
right there.
Professional Freelancers.
So yeah,
Professional
more
Freelancers
than
first episode. Yeah, there.
more than enough
So.
to check out. So those links will. I think the links to everything will be
Yeah.
in chat. And then we forgot one person. So Mark.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah,
and Mark over there, Cartoon Mark, does a Nino of the Dinosaurs, which was a feature on our last Comics Creators Club before Christmas.
Excellent
Yeah.
entries.
And that one is actually behind a paywall, but it's on both Subscribestar and I recently put it up on Ko-fi. However, you can see the first 7 pages of each issue for free. So you get a little try before you buy. And I am also working on coloring the first issue. And yeah, just look me up on either Subscribestar or Ko-fi, which however you pronounce it. It's look for Stonemason Comics.
Yep, we drop a link in chat, and all links will be listed underneath the video. I'll make sure I'll prod Rhys to make sure that's all included. But yeah, all links will be there. Thank you very much, audience, for joining us today for Comics Creators Club. I see Ravens Loft will have to join us for the replay. And who wants the last word?
Well, I guess that the best thing to do. Is to stay until next time. Well, I don't know what we're doing next time. I had an idea, but I cannot remember what it was I was going to do. I don't think I told anyone about it. So
nope.
We're going to have to just make it up as we go. So,
but we will. But there will be things that are coming.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, actually, I think I did remember, but because I think that 11th issue of Superman came out. I think that's
just
actually
12th
or the next one.
12th just came out. Yeah.
What's on the thing?
Oh boy, I've got a lot to reread to catch up.
Just came out, so that's probably what we'll do next week.
And we'll be finally fully caught up.
So that'll probably be next week. And until next time, get out there and read some comics, and we will see you all around the next time.
Hey y'all, it's Epic Gamer 4 here with another video. Today, I'll be showing you how to create an offline profile in Windows 10. Now let's get right into it, right after a word from our sponsors, Raid Chat.